Hello everybody and welcome back to FantasyFootballFix.com, the leading FPL platform to help build your team value, improve your rank and help you win your mini leagues. In tonight's video we're going to be covering the most owned defender in the game set to drop in price. Which Arsenal midfielder of the bunch seems to be providing the best options in midfield amongst budget midfielders, and also a Trent potential injury sends managers into chaos as he could miss out on game week 7. All that to come later in the video. If you have a question for any of our FPL analysts or presenters over here on the channel, then go ahead and drop it down below in the comments and someone will try their very best to get back to you. I'll be down in the comments on every single video I'm presenting, answering and replying to all of you who leave a comment down below. We're also going to be starting a giveaway which is going to be happening every single day here on the channel, a new giveaway every day for an entire year's worth of premium Fantasy Football Fix membership for absolutely nothing. So yeah, that's going to be going to someone who does leave a comment down below. So if there's ever an incentive to leave a comment and ask a question and also being with a chance of winning something absolutely fantastic in return, then that's definitely it. But without further ado, let's get into the main video content for today and let's try and help you price change your way to the top 10k. So here we are in the Fantasy Football Fix studio, and as you can see, not too much going on in the world of price changes today, but a very noticeable faller, quite a bit down the list. As you can see, Luke Shaw there, who I've actually started and added to my watch list. Callum Wilson still somehow doesn't drop down to 7.3, but it really is Luke Shaw who I want to talk about, who of course went off injured in Aston Villa's 1-0 victory over Manchester United at Old Trafford. I was at the game. Please don't rib me too hard in the comments. Luke Shaw obviously picking up a yellow just minutes before his knock that he picked up as well. So yeah, very disappointing once again for owners of Luke Shaw, who hasn't been delivering anything really so far this season of note, despite having some relatively decent underlying stats, which we'll get into. We get to know too much about the injury. Ollie has made a few comments that came out in his press conference for the Champions League in midweek, which was helpful. It looked more promising in regards to Luke Shaw's injury. He could potentially even feature tonight at time of recording. I don't imagine that he will, but it's very, very hopefully promising that he'll be back for the weekend and could potentially line up in the starting 11 against Everton for United. So yeah, hopeful of that. However, it doesn't look very promising at all for Harry Maguire, who you may be wondering, why am I mentioning him? He of course went off injured as well in that 1-0 loss to Aston Villa, but we know it's a calf injury that could potentially rule him out for a number of weeks. And now Ollie isn't exactly the most transparent of managers, and he hasn't always said exactly things are how they are. But, you know, with Maguire being out, that could harm the United's defence even more. And even for the team who've only kept one clean sheet so far this season with their backline fully fit, I wouldn't be too confident in Luke Shaw keeping many more clean sheets, especially as their fixtures aren't absolutely brilliant until their run fixtures that starts in game week 15 that looks absolutely fantastic. So yeah, a poor start to the season for Shaw, especially with just that one clean sheet and that one assist for that Ronaldo goal, which was a very nice assist. But yeah, he's not been delivering like the Shaw we knew of points last season, and especially in the Euros, and which was what made a lot of people go for him and have him over 50% owned at the start of the season. So the left bank does actually rank first amongst expected assists for defenders. He's at 1.24, which is quite a significant lead over Lowton and Soufal, who are in second and third respectively. They scored 0.96 and 0.94. And then he's actually managed to score 18 points across the first 6 game weeks, which isn't a very impressive total for Luke Shaw. You know, averaging 3 points a game, you would really, really hope for more than that from such a promising prospect. Yeah, it's less points in total than so many defenders. And for just a bit of context, it's less than half the totals of defenders such as Cancelo, Diaz and Alonso, who a lot of people are looking at bringing in right now. And we can actually look at the heat maps, if I bring them up, of Luke Shaw and the last of those defenders who I mentioned, Marcus Alonso. And we can see that they're not too dissimilar at all. Alonso getting a bit further up and down the touchline. But if you just look at the statistics, 11 shots to Shaw's 2, so in favour of Marcus Alonso there. Passes, Luke Shaw's coming with more. But yeah, there's a few key stats there, such as, you know, attempted assists, where Luke Shaw does lead the way. So there are a few promising signs. However, it just seems to not have been going his way. I don't know whether there's a bit of misfortune, to be honest, for owners, to be honest, so far this season. Say, to be honest, more a bit. But yeah, that seems to be the case a little bit. Whether it's sensible to offload Luke Shaw right now, I think in some teams there are bigger fires that need putting out at the moment. You know, the likes of players that will be ruled out, potentially even Trent, if you don't want to ride the storm for his injury that we mentioned. But yeah, I think Luke Shaw, if you've got the free transfer, could be a good week to take him out. You know, Everton's not an easy fixture at home for United, especially with how their clean sheets have been going. Luke Shaw, in terms of how certain is he to drop in price tonight, it doesn't look too bad, but he is past the 100% threshold and still dropping at quite a high rate in minus 0.4% per hour. So we would imagine that he probably will drop tonight. And of course, you can check all the kind of accuracy levels of the recent price changes over at fantasyfootballfix.com. So yeah, in summary, it seems no surprise really that managers are taking Luke Shaw out of their squads with only 12.5 projected points over the next 5 game weeks in comparison to Alonso's 27 as well. It's even less of a shock and managers are making on that move. Remember, you can use the free app to track the player price changes over at fantasyfootballfix.com, so you can download the free app as well and turn on push notifications so all your favourite players and the players in your team are kept up to date for you right away. And the other player I really want to talk about today is, of course, Bukayo Saka, who I mentioned at the start of the video. And I wanted to have a look at him in the context of the fixed comparison matrix, which I know I'm probably rinsing a lot, but I really just think it is a fantastic tool. There are so many more that I'd like to explore on the Fantasy Football Fix website. But yeah, I thought this was the best one to show, especially because there are so many great value midfielders at the moment. And I wanted to see kind of and compare a few of them at perhaps a little bit different price points. Who do you think you should be going for? Is Saka worth bringing in, especially maybe as an early transfer if you're looking to jump on him before a potential price change? And obviously Saka got a goal, an assist and 3 bonus points in Arsenal's emphatic win in the North London derby in game week 6. And overall so far this season, Saka has ranked 7th amongst expected assists amongst mids, 6.5 in price or under so far this season. However, in a bit of concerning news, he is actually all the way down in 15th for XG in the same bracket, which may not sound awful, but this is in midfielders price 6.5 or under. He's actually behind the likes of Soucek, Click of Leeds, and also Smith Rowe, who you can see on screen right now in the comparison matrix that I wanted to have a look at and have a bit more of a deep dive into it. So yeah, obviously you can see I've chosen some statistics that I thought were most relevant, but you can pick, and choose whichever you want to do over at fantasyfootballfix.com using the comparison matrix, which is absolutely fantastic, as I've already mentioned. Saka, in terms of projected points, I've ordered them in terms of that. Saka and Gallagher tied on 13.9 over the next couple of game weeks. Remember, Saka is on kind of the higher end of budget, along with Rafinha out of these lot. I did consider putting Sarr in as well, but unfortunately, there's too many. We can't have them all in and compare all of them at once. But yeah, Saka with 6.2, do we think that he's going to be outperforming Gallagher by that much for someone who's a bit cheaper in price? 0.5 million can go a long way elsewhere in your team. Even Smith Rowe is scoring, 0.1, albeit higher, but still the exactly same projected points total, rounded up to the nearest number, as Saka across the next 5 game weeks. And so maybe going for him could be the way to go, at almost $1 million cheaper than Saka, and of course playing for the same team, same clean sheet points, etc. And Mbeumo actually leads the way out of all those three, and himself included, with 16.5, which is quite interesting, given that the Brentford's fixtures over the next couple of game weeks don't look absolutely brilliant. I did compare Mbeumo and Smith Rowe over on my channel, Fantasy FPL Phillips, which you can go and check out down below in the description if you want to. And last up, Rafinha, who's obviously priced at 6.5 and has got a bit of a knock, so something to keep an eye on, obviously. But 20 points, him projected over the next couple of game weeks, is 6 or more projected points than Saka. For 0.2 extra it will be if Saka does indeed rise tomorrow night. So having a look at the prices and the statistics down below, in terms of FPL points per million, which I really do like to look at, Gallagher, no surprise, he's leading the way in terms of value. The rest of the players very, very similar, well, exactly all on 4. In terms of shots, Rafinha does lead the way. In second, it's Mbeumo, who, is kind of playing out of position, so it would be expected. And Smith Rowe is at the bottom of those charts, so Saka is topping him in terms of shots. And attempted assists, Rafinha does lead the way again. So he's looking like a fantastic option. He does look very good on the eye. Obviously, people talk about ex-Lively and that Rafinha's all show and kind of no poo or whatever you want to talk about. But I think Rafinha is just a really good option. I think he will consistently score you points. And I think it's easy to think that Rafinha, he could have had more, even when he's got you a very good score. That's just how good of a player and really an FPL asset he is. So yes, Saka looking to rise in price tomorrow. And with these projected points totals, would I be bringing him in? If you're on a wild card, obviously you don't really need to worry about it. And you could bring him in today or tomorrow and not be too too concerned, but probably getting him in before the price rise, as long as you don't lose value elsewhere in your team for a midfielder you're taking out or whatever, that is something to consider and keep an eye on. But, if you're 0.1 off a draft with Saka in, that's your time to think about it and make sure you're actually knowing what you're doing if you're on a wild card, as a lot of people are this week. But yeah, don't forget it's free to upload your squad at FPL squad at fantasyfootballfix.com. You can do that over and via the links in the description. And yeah, please, a quick reminder that our price change stats are not always an exact science and they can alter very quickly. You can track them, as always, over at fantasyfootballfix.com, or you can download the free app, as I mentioned, turn on push notifications, all that good stuff. Hit the subscribe button if you're new around here, and don't forget to like to support the channel. And thank you for watching. We'll catch you tomorrow at the exact same time for all the latest in price change analysis. Good night.